Okay, let's get into it. Today we're doing a deep dive into something that, well, it profoundly impacts lives, but it's often shrouded in misunderstanding. Tardive Dyskinesia, TD.
Yeah.
And our mission here is really to understand how vital those deeply personal stories are in bringing some clarity, some empathy to this condition.
And what's really interesting is the dedicated work being done by NAMI, that's NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Right.
Specifically, NAMI, Columbia County, NY, they're really on the front lines, enhancing public awareness. And their whole approach is just so powerfully rooted in sharing lived experiences.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really specific and quite powerful. Yeah. We're focusing on this one poignant narrative shared by a NAMI Columbia County program leader and board member. She talked about her own family member. This person lived with both bipolar disorder and tardive dyskinesia.
Wow, a dual challenge there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And here's the heartbreaking part. His family, tragically, they misunderstood his condition. They actually regarded his illness as his fault. Yeah, believing he caused it himself by taking too many pills. Just awful.
That really underscores the kind of blame that can come from misunderstanding, doesn't it?
It does.
And NAMI emphasizes this point, too. TD is primarily associated with antipsychotic medication, and these are often really necessary treatments,
Essential, yeah.
For people living with serious mental illnesses like bipolar disorder, major depressive disorder, or schizophrenia, it's a side effect, sometimes from long-term use, not something brought on by taking too many.
It's just not a fault.
Yeah.
And fighting that painful misunderstanding is exactly what NAMI Columbia County champions. They even marked TD Awareness Week.
Yeah.
That was back in May of 2025.
Right, this past May.
Yeah, they had an exhibit and a landmark lighting event. It was at ArtLife 717 in Hudson, New York. All about breaking down barriers, fostering that understanding.
It's so important. And that kind of public awareness event ties directly back to helping families avoid the kind of pain described in that story, bridging that gap.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you listening? I think the power of these personal stories is just undeniable, right?
Absolutely.
They really underscore why empathy and just basic education are so critical when confronting the stigma around conditions like TD.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, NAMI Columbia County's initiatives, things like distributing doctor discussion guides, patient brochures.
Practical tools.
Exactly. They actively bridge that gap of misunderstanding we were talking about. And the support from family, from friends. Just learning about TD, being empathetic, being kind, it truly goes a long way.
That phrase really resonates.
It helps someone live a wonderful life despite the challenge. It makes a real difference.
And it's important to acknowledge there's real progress here, too. This isn't just about awareness. Things have changed.
That's true.
Unlike in the past, there are now FDA-approved treatment options available for TD.
Which is huge.
And routine screenings for involuntary movements are becoming much more standard. That means earlier detection, better outcomes. It offers real hope.
Definitely. It changes the landscape significantly from, say, when that family member in the story was struggling.
Right.
Which, it raises an important question for all of us, I think. How can stories like these inspire you to challenge your own assumptions about mental health conditions? And maybe become a more informed, more empathetic advocate right there in your own community? How can we all contribute to a world where, understanding replaces judgment?
A powerful thought to leave with. Well, this has been our deep dive into the vital work of understanding tardive dyskinesia.
A really important topic.
This deep dive has been a production of NAMI Columbia County, NY. Thank you for listening.